So I want to talk to you about bad September advice and how to avoid it, because there are those of you that may be so new to beekeeping that you don't know whether the advice that you're getting is really something you should be following, or do they really know what they're talking about? And let's face it, we all have our personal preferences of how we would like to keep bees, how we think things should be done. But it doesn't mean that it's the right or necessarily the wrong way to do. But sometimes it can be bad advice. Now, a lot of times, we need to just stop doing what doesn't work. I don't know why some bad advice keeps getting circulated time and time again when it's been proven, both anecdotal and scientifically and by trial and error, that it doesn't work and it can cause problems. But sometimes it's in beekeeping and in everything. People just keep doing stuff that doesn't work because it gets spread and circulated around that, this is what you need to do. This is what I've always done. And I tell you, sometimes we just need to stop doing that. Let's start with the very first one, bad September advice. The first one is to use entrance feeders. Now, this was kind of the way that people fed bees back in the old days, back in the old ways. An entrance feeder, in case you've never seen one, because they've kind of fallen away greatly in the last few years, but they're probably about 4 inches wide or 5 inches maybe, and they slide into the gap of your bottom entrance, and they have a circle on the outside part where you put a jar feeder down into the circle on the outside. That's called, I think it's called a Boardman entrance feeder. And that entrance feeder is, I always hated them, tell you the truth. I started beekeeping. That was the big deal. That was a big thing back then. There wasn't a lot of other feeders that people were using way back in the day. That was kind of like the primary thing. But I hated them because every time your jar ran empty, there you would go change it. There would always be a bunch of bees trying to get the, sugar water out of those little holes. And they would sting your hands. They'd all be busy, kind of like when you try to take the jar away. I did not like them at all. But here's the deal. When you use entrance feeders in the fall, that is very bad advice. If anybody has ever told you to put your entrance feeders on, now that it's fall, you need to feed your bees, check that off. That's bad advice. And here's why. Because it's very inducive to robbing. Robber bees will smell that sugar water that close to the entrance, and they'll just help themselves into the hive, and they'll start robbing the honey that's in that hive. You want to feed your bees from a top feeder or from an internal frame feeder. Don't feed from the entrance during fall or September. I think I looked today, and I think fall is about 16 or 17 days away. And wow, that's not far at all. Bad advice number 2, place your extracted honey frames near the hive so the bees can clean them up. Don't laugh. I know that some of you are thinking that's just stupid. I can't do that. I don't laugh, because every year I see people doing it. And for the same reason, if you do that, it will draw every robber bee within a 3-mile radius of your hive. I mean, seriously, anytime you put, we put our extracted honey frames sometimes out in the open for bees to clean up, dry them out, clean them up a little bit. And lo and behold, some people lean them up against the hive. Some people lean it up against the entrance because they feel like their bees can walk out there and clean that up. But all that's going to do is attract robbers. That's bad advice. If you're going to put your extracted wet honey frames anywhere in the bee yard, don't do it. Don't put them in the bee yard. Go really, really far away, 100 yards or more, and put them way back at the end of the property where bees will know to directly go there and not be enticed to also land near your hives and start robbing at your hives. What we're trying to do is prevent robbing, especially this time of the year when the nectar sources are really low. Bad September advice number 3. Some people might say the fall flow will save your weak hive. And they'll tell you that, hey, just wait on the goldenrod, wait on the fall asters. If your frames aren't drawn out, if you don't have all those honey frames filled up yet, just wait, because the fall flow will save the day. I'm not saying that it's not able to do it, but I would say it's like a 9, like out of 10 tries, out of 10 years, I've had it happen once. So it's not that common to have a big flow in the fall. Now, this is going to vary, depend on where you live and maybe what your nectar sources are in the fall, right? So you need to know that. So understand that, like for Illinois, we don't have a very big fall flow. We have a very large presentation of some very good looking goldenrod and asters. We really do. Fields and fields of goldenrod and asters and things like that. But it just doesn't bring in a lot of nectar each year. It really doesn't. So I don't count on it at all. If I get a little bit from the goldenrod, it's just icing on the cake, but it really doesn't happen that often. Not impressive. Don't count on the floral sources in the fall to strengthen your weak colonies. I think feeding them is a better opportunity, especially because in the fall we have more rain. It rains a lot, and it's just a tougher time of the year for bees to go out and get nectar because fall is cooler and rainier. So it's better to have something on the hive. Also, another bad tip for September is some people might say your poor queen that's laying poorly, she'll improve in the spring. She's just going to be okay. Stay with her. Let her sit in there. I'm sure she'll be fine in the spring. I think that's bad advice. I really do. If she's not laying well now, there's a chance that she's going to just not make it through the winter, and you're going to lose her and not have a queen in the spring. So never take a weak queen into winter. Always count your losses now. Let your queens be replaced now while you still have a chance to get a good queen in there. Don't try to keep nursing a failing queen along. Get rid of the queen now. Another bit of bad advice that I hear is people will say, I don't have any bees in my area. I don't have other hives. I just have one hive, so I don't have to worry about robbing. That's bad advice. I've heard that a lot. I've heard people say that. Don't worry about robbing. You've only got one hive. It's not going to happen. Listen, there are a lot of bees in your area. Even though you may only have one hive, within a 3-mile radius of that one hive that you have, there are a lot of bees. There are beekeepers that you probably don't know about, but also there are feral or wild colonies in trees and upside down barbecue grills that have been deserted, in houses. There's a lot of bees out there. There really is. And those bees are going to find your hive, especially if your hive is weak, and they're going to come out and try to rob it. So don't let anybody tell you because you have one hive or no other beekeepers live around you that you don't have to worry about robbing. Robbing happens so fast, like a flip of a switch, and before you know it, you got a mess. I noticed several people on my YouTube comments this week, they were describing how terrible it is that some of their hives started getting robbed out, and what a frenzy that is. I know it's really bad. Another bit of bad advice that we hear in September or the fall is that, don't worry about inspecting your hives as fall. You did the best you could. Not important anymore to inspect your hive. I think that's very bad advice. Right now is when we really want to inspect your hive. I think it is so essential. It really is. Keep inspecting your hive on a regular basis. Every 2 weeks, go in there and take a look. I'm not always best at it, but I think it's important to do that. Check for all the things that you normally would all season long, even in late summer and early fall. You can keep inspecting your hive as long as the temperature is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. You can still lift your brood frames up without damaging developing pupae for a bit. So, if you've got temperatures that are getting into the mid 60s, you're okay to do your inspections. And, we have a lot of warm fall days that might allow you the opportunity to continue to inspect your hives. So don't neglect inspecting your hives in the fall. Now, some people also may tell you bad advice, don't feed your bees in the fall. I really do think that's really bad advice because you might look in your hive and you might decide, okay, I see some honey, I see nectar, I see some bee bread or something. And you might decide, I'm okay, I don't need to feed my bees, but it's going to help your bees so much if you can feed them. That it's really going to be so healthy for your bees if you feed your bees in the fall And you know what I always practice and promote is that if you feed your bees in the fall during a dearth, you're going to help the queen lay more eggs, and those eggs are going to be bees of winter physiology that live 4 to 8 months. That's why I think it's really important to feed your bees. But I hear people say it all the time, don't feed your bees in the fall, and if you do, you should feed them 2 to 1. Well, I feed them 1 to 1 to get more bees of winter physiology. So watch out for the bad advice about feeding. Another bit of bad advice is this. Some people will say, you don't have to worry about swarming anymore because the swarm season is over. They don't swarm in September. Well, let me tell you a little story that happened to me on Sunday when Carl was here and Pat Stevenson, my videographer, was filming, and Carl's wife Joey was here. I went into a hive because I wanted to demonstrate to Carl, inspecting a hive, what it's like. And lo and behold, I started lifting frames up and I saw a swarm cell and another one, another swarm cell and another swarm cell. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got caught red-handed. Yeah, I don't give out advice that you shouldn't look for swarm cells, but I wasn't practicing what I preach. And I was like, shoot, I knew that it's a possibility, but I didn't think they were going to swarm. They weren't that crowded. You know how you rationalize all this. It's like, why did they swarm for? Doggone it, here they go. They swarm because they get a little goldenrod nectar flow. They start thinking, okay, we're getting some nectar coming in. We can swarm now. But anyway, we determined after doing an inspection, I think there were at least 12 swarm cells throughout the hive. And Carl and I proceeded to cut them out. I'm producing that video now. It was really a lot of fun. So, but one of the things that you have to remember is if anybody tells you that bees don't swarm in the fall, late summer or fall, that's bad advice. That's why, for me, I need to point the finger to me. I should be in there every 2 weeks looking and inspecting and seeing. I missed it by calculating out. I think they swarmed 3 to 5 days before we inspected. I just barely missed it. So, you need to keep thinking that swarming is a possibility. It can happen. Bad advice if somebody tells you, don't worry about swarming. It would never happen. And the last bit of bad advice that you can get is no need to reduce your entrance. Now, I'll be honest, I don't always reduce the entrance of my hives going into winter. Sometimes it's I've never seen a problem not doing it. Sometimes it's a problem. It's caused by me being a little bit lazy and I don't want to go out there and put an entrance reducer on. But nonetheless, here's what's going to happen. And I've been caught red-handed. If you don't reduce the entrance, several things can happen. You can increase the chance of robbing because it's just 14 inches of opening there on a 10 frame Langstroth. So that's a big opening that robber bees could try to start sneaking in. Secondly, you could start having mice. As soon as the farmers start harvesting their crops out of fields and it gets cooler, let's say you don't live near a field, but it starts getting cooler, lo and behold, mice, M-I-C-E, not saying mite, but mice will run into your hives to get warm and take up living in your hive. So an entrance reducer, usually in the smallest setting, is enough to just keep mice from coming in. If not, you can put mouse guards on the front of your entrance to keep, allows the bees to go in and out, but keeps the mice out. Now, as far as getting ready for winter, it's reducing your entrance going to help. It does, because if your hive's facing a dominant, predominant wind, like out of the north or something, the wind can just blow directly into your hive. And so it's better if you can reduce the exposure by putting a little bit of an entrance reducer on your hive. I don't always do it. Obviously, I need to practice what I'm saying here, but for the most part, that is the best practice. Okay. You need to reduce it. So if anybody tells you, don't worry about it, you don't have to reduce your entrances. And I've had mice set up house and almost basically destroy a colony one year. So it is good to reduce your entrances and make sure that you don't have away from. See, here I am. Don't let mice and heavy winds get into your hive. So those are some bad advice that you may pick up different places. So be careful about what you hear and how you should prepare your bees for winter. And preparing your bees for winter really does start now. It really starts when you first start beekeeping in April, if that's your climate, and spring, I should say. So all the things that we do all through the year is helping to get our bees ready for April, or winter. We start that pretty soon. We want to thank Jessica and Robbie today for working behind the scenes. Sherry is home from her travels, but she is just suffering from jet lag. She could not keep her eyes open to be on the, the live stream tonight. So we'll try to get her refreshed and back with us real soon. And Robbie and Jessica, can you guys cycle back? Is it too much to ask? Can you show the donations that were made while I was teaching? I'd like to give a shout out to everybody. Can you just go back to the top and pop those up? But let's give a shout out. Okay, Carmen, thank you for your super sticker. Appreciate it so much. Absolutely. And Greg, look at that. Thanks, David, for all you do. Pawpaw's Bees. Yeah, that's great. Susan, thank you for your donation tonight. Appreciate it. Oh, Leah Burns and Vera, my granddaughter, love the honey we got. There you go. Hi, Papa and Nana. All right. Hi, Leah. Thanks for joining us. Art, thank you for your super sticker. Appreciate it, Art. You're looking through any more? Maybe they got them. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think they're good now. I just didn't want to pass those up while I was teaching. So thank you guys so much. Okay. I'm going to get a sip of water and then we're ready for some question times. Thanks, James, for your super sticker tonight. All these donations, we have giveaways. Some of the giveaways are pretty nice and cost, even if they're given to us, it does cost money to ship them out. So it allows us to keep the cause going. So I do appreciate your donations. Let's go ahead and take some questions tonight. Okay, what would happen if you used your feeding system with 2 jars, one with 1-to-1 and one with 2-to-1 on a colony with low storage for fall feeding? Yeah, I think that it is certainly, I don't own the corner of all knowledge. It's not my way or the highway. I don't believe I'm the only answer in town. So you can do it the way you want to. That works perfectly. I've done it that way before, but here's the kicker. I like doing 1-to-1 to stimulate more bees' winter physiology to support the brood. And I'm going to feed them my winter be kind as soon as I'm done feeding 1-to-1. So 2-to-1 is used to help them store more resources and get it capped over sooner because it's more syrupy. But since I'm feeding my bees the candy boards, I don't have to do 2-to-1. But if you're not using a winter feed, you got to go 2-to-1. That would be a good optional way to do it. Absolutely. Yep. Hey, Susan. On 8/14, okay, I saw an uncapped supersedure cell with larvae. On 9/4, I saw no eggs, larvae or brood. Don't know if there's a virgin queen. Should I give it more time before getting a new queen? Yep, you sure should. It can take up to, depends on how soon she goes out on a mating flight and the weather. It can be around September. I always say allow 30 days. Around September the 14th is when you want to go in there, and you need to start seeing something around September 14th. And we're only September the 4th or 5th now. So you got a few about another week or so. Yeah. So go back and check later. Give that queen time to get mated and start laying. Good question, though. I know it's kind of nail biter time because you really need a queen, don't you? Hey, Mike, can I have a laying worker and a queen in the same colony? Not a mated queen. No, because the mated queen gives off QMP, queen mandibular pheromone, which clamps down the laying workers from being able to lay. And so not at the same time, no. Possibly a virgin, but that won't last too long. Yep. Good question. Oh, thank you for your super sticker tonight. I appreciate it so much. You guys are very kind tonight. How can you tell if your hive is being robbed or are the robbers? It looks like a swarm flying in, gathering at the base. No capping on the ground. Let's say no capping on the ground. Looks like I have more nectar in the view window. A little bit hard to understand that entirely, but I'll just try to take a stab at it. Oh, I see. You're wondering if your bees are the robbers going somewhere or if your hive is being robbed. Yeah. Okay. Here's how you very easy to tell the difference. Number one, your bees are going to very distinctly go in and out strategically in the entrance. They will go methodically in and out in your entrance. Robber bees will not do that. Robber bees will be all over your hive, on the sides of it, on the top of it, on the bottom. They'll be on the back of it. They'll be sniffing all around. They'll be everywhere. It'll look like a crazy swarm all around your hive, where your bees, if they're robbing, they're very organized in their flight path going in and out of their own hive. Yep. Hey, Margaret, thank you for your super sticker tonight. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. All righty. Hi, David. Love all your videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. This is my first year in beekeeping. Well, congratulations. Welcome to beekeeping. Please make an effort now not to give up. Stay with us. Stay in it. You're going to have to get into the 5-year point before you have a right to give it up. All right. Just harvested a super. Well, congratulations. And the honey was so dark, it was almost black looking. I'm in Pennsylvania. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry, I don't know Pennsylvania. You guys in Pennsylvania probably know the answer right off the bat, so leave that in the comments for him. But I always think of things like buckwheat. Buckwheat is always dark, honey, things like that. If you got buckwheat around, there's just some really dark honey. Some people don't even like the taste of some of the darker honey. But yeah, not sure what you got growing in Pennsylvania, but I've had buckwheat honey before, and it looks almost like black tar sometimes. It's so dark. Yeah. Thanks, Ross. Can bees clean out dead bees with Bee Smart screens on? A Bee Smart screen bottom board, or are you talking about a robber screen? Let's say you're talking about a robber screen. I think that makes more sense to me. They can, but it would be very difficult. A robber screen for a bee to pull up a dead bee, through the upper parts of the Bee Smart robber screen. They can do it, but it's going to be much more difficult. So the jury is out on that a little bit. It's not going to be very easy, but yeah, they can do it. But certainly without it, they can clean it out very easily. That's a good question. Hey, Monica, how are you? My queen got through my excluder. Oh, really? Was it metal or plastic? And now I have brood in my super. Should I leave the super on now for the winter? I'm in northern Michigan. Ooh, boy, that is too bad. I asked whether it was metal or plastic because sometimes I used to just use metal queen excluders. And I would always take, 100 or more of the excluders off for winter. And then I'd put them on a fire, a big fire, and I would burn them. In that fire, all the wax and the stuff that's on it would burn off, and they'd be clean for next year. It doesn't do much for the metal, but it doesn't hurt it that bad when you're just in a hurry, whatever. And so what would happen in all of my moving around my excluders, sometimes I would throw them together and it would dent. It would make one of the wires bend, and it made a hole. I made a bigger hole if the wires bend, is what I'm saying. So if you're using plastic, they're better, but a place can break off. So maybe you examine your excluder real carefully, make sure that's not what happened. Now, back to your question, though, should you leave the super on now for winter? I think you're going to have to. I think I would. If there's brood up there, let's just say this is part of the brood nest area now. I don't want to tinker with trying to get all the brood out of there to make it empty again for winter. Maybe they wouldn't fill it up anyway. Yeah, leave it on there. You got to take the queen excluder off. Examine that queen excluder. See what happened. I'm interested. Kenny, had a new hive draw out and fill a super in 3.5 weeks. Okay. All of my frames were connected by comb and honey. Do you clean these up or let them fill the box tight? You cannot pull the frames apart. I wonder what happened. The new hive filled out the super and 3 form. All the frames were connected by comb and honey. So normally that doesn't happen because your combs are drawn out, side beside each other. You might have a little bit of connectivity comb, burr comb that kind of gives them a connection, and you can cut that with your hive tool without much honey going out. However, in your case, sounds like something more is going on. Maybe they were foundationless frames, and instead of having a pattern to go by, they just had a blank frame and they built their frames the other way, maybe. But I think what I would do, if you can't pull those apart, I think you're just going to have to live with it. Sometimes what I do in a case like this, Kenny, is I'll try to cycle that box. Maybe it's a medium box. I don't know. Try to get it down to the bottom next to the bottom board, because going through winter, your colony will move up into their hive and they'll desert that lower box. I'm not sure how that's going to work if there's honey in it, will they eat it all? I don't know. But the other thing you can do is just muscle up, cowboy up, take the thing apart and do the crush and harvest method of harvesting all that by crushing it and starting over. But this isn't the right time of the year to start over. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big deal, isn't it? I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Check out the new Cowboy Up design and other custom apparel. The Beak Squad over here, Beak Squad apparel that we have, got a new shirt that says Cowboy Up, a phrase that I use a lot. Brandon, should I wrap my hive for winter when winter comes? Is that the best method, or just leave it be? I'm in Pennsylvania with 2 deeps and 1 super. Okay. Wrapping your hive is a coin toss as far as I'm concerned. The best thing to wrap is to have upper insulation. It really is. My winter bee kinds, not trying to sell them. We've sold so many. We're probably going to have to stop selling them pretty soon because of the mass number. So I'm not trying to pitch them. But having insulation and food above your colony, I think, is the best way to overwinter, whether it's Illinois, Pennsylvania. The winter bee kind has insulation in it. So the sidewalls, I think most people agree, is not that critical unless you got gaping holes or something. Top essential. Yeah. Hey, Thomas, good to see you, my friend Tom. Great comment for CC and Outdoors. Don't give up when things get bad. I'm eternally grateful to you, David, for taking me out of quitting a few years ago. It gets better and better as we gain experience. Well, thank you, Tom. That's very humbling. I do know that you had a rough go at it for a while. I'm glad you didn't quit. And I think you and your son are even thinking about maybe one day becoming a certified master beekeeper with EAS. That's cool. I look forward to seeing you and working on that one day. All of you, if you ever think about that, is awesome. Hey, John, how can you feed your bees if they're in a horizontal laying hive in the winter? Thank you, John. We are 2 kindred spirits. I guess you're asking me that question, or are you just wanting to share this perplexity with me? Are we like 2 people sitting in a bar going, yeah, how are we going to do that? I have not decided how to do that. I know that I've heard people say, oh, this is simple. I do it this way. I do it that way. It turns out to be kind of a lot of work and everything. And I remember speaking with Randy Oliver out in Nevada earlier this year. And he said to me, it's just no way you can overwinter something like a horizontal hive. I don't know if that was his exact words, but he kind of thought, like I do, that bees like to move up into the honey, into the warm hive in their natural habitat, or in a Langstroth. They don't like to go down out of the frames and move over to where the honey is. Even if I had food over there, are they going to break cluster, go down, dodge frames, walk as a cluster out? I'm perplexed. So hats off to all you people that are layings enthusiasts and you've mastered that. Leave a comment in my videos about how you mastered it, and I'll try to apply something that you've worked out. I can't figure it out. Leslie, I'm wanting to go to a horizontal hive. When's the best time of the year to transition, move frames into the horizontal hive? Oh, best time of the year? I don't think it would matter that much if they're already drawn out, if they live in a different box. However, if you're going to keep them in the same space that your vertical hive was in, then they won't get lost. If you move them over there, they're not going to make the move very good. They're going to fly back to where their original home is. So think through that. But giving them time to settle down before winter in their new home is probably ideal. So a few months before winter, I would say minimally. Yeah. You may not want to do that after you've just heard me say it's hard to figure out how you're going to feed them. Most people would say you don't need to feed them. There's honey in there. But I have trouble with my horizontal hives not wanting to go sideways to get into the honey. Like when you do a vertical hive, the frames are spaced out all the way up, and that cluster can just move as a ball between the frames and get into the food more. So that's kind of a struggle sometimes. Hello, Art. Since we are in a very hot environment, we are concerned with hive inspection with temperatures. What temperature would be the point of cutoff? Yeah. It's more of a beekeeper, I think, question. How much heat, how much of a hot day can you take and be out there? If it pushes upper 90s, that's miserable for the beekeeper in a hot bee suit. Not all that good for the bees. They've got ventilation going on by pulling air out, stale and hot air out of the hive. And when you open it up, you kind of disrupt that. The sunlight shining into the hive can make even more heat and all. So let's say mid 90s. I don't like to go out there. Sometimes you have to, but if you had the convenience of making a choice, boy, go out there on a nice day. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. I get it. Thanks, EL, for your super sticker tonight. I appreciate that so much. Very kind of all of you for donating to the live stream tonight. Thanks for being here, by the way. I really appreciate it. I don't take it lightly that you're giving me your time. I've always said my time is more important than my money. Steal a man's time, worse than stealing his money. So I value your time here tonight, and I respect it greatly. Thank you. For winter, would you use both an entrance reducer and a mouse guard, or just a mouse guard? I would just use the mouse guard. That would be my entrance reducer. You can buy the metal ones. I got one close by. I can't reach it. It looks like little 1/4-inch holes in it. You can adjust it to an 8-frame or a 10-frame hive. You can buy these little circle hole mouse guards, and it works pretty cool. They can still drag out dead bees in the wintertime. Yeah, that works good. It really does. Herb. Hi, David. I did an inspection yesterday. I found 3 queen cups. It didn't appear that they had an egg in them. Is this a sign that I may have a swarm potential, and what would I do about it? Queen cups usually can be found in every single colony that I have ever looked at. They're there just in case they need them. Usually they're in the supersedure position, but sometimes down on the bottom. Supersedure means they're going to replace their queen soon because she's failing, and they raise a queen to replace her higher up in a queen cell on the upper part of the frame, swarm cells down below. That's a good question, Herb. I would say, why don't you test this out? Go back in about 5 days. Yeah, you said you saw this yesterday, nothing in them. Go back in 5 days, see what they look like. They just might be there as a bunker, a way of preparation in case they need them. So don't worry about it until you see something in there. We started calling this charged. This queen cell's not charged, meaning it doesn't have a larvae in it. But if there's a larva in it, we'd say it's charged. And somebody told me where they thought they started that phraseology. Thank you, Katie, for your super sticker. Appreciate it. Very kind of you guys tonight. Yep. I love answering your questions, and feel like I can help you guys out tonight. So here we go. Got plenty of time to answer more. Denton, I see my bees sticking together in a stringy chain when I pry the frames apart. Is this some kind of disease? Oh, Denton, rest assured, this is not malignant at all. This is a very benign thing. Okay. This is so common that bees do this. They join their little feet together and they stretch out, and that's just how they measure things out. That's how they engineer building and hanging out together. It's a beautiful thing to see. And no, it's not a disease. Your bees are fine doing that. That's what they do. They love to hold feet together and measure stuff out. Yep. Don't worry about it. It's fine. probably made you sleep better tonight, knowing that your bees are fine. All right. What are good additives for candy boards? What are good additives? I think Honeybee Healthy, Amino Bee Booster, Protein Powder are the 3 best additives that you can give bees. I think it's, everybody agrees with that. Honeybee Healthy attracts them to eat. And then anytime we use amino or protein powder, Amino Bee, that's all protein. It's going to help support the bees with protein. Yeah. So bees just don't live on sugar alone. They also live on protein. Some beekeepers don't realize that. Hey, Tom, how are you? Thanks, Tom, for your kind super sticker tonight. Appreciate that a lot. Very kind. We're going to have a giveaway coming up, so don't go anywhere. Dustin, I have a flow hive. The bees have left about 1/3 of the cells completely empty in an arc pattern from the bottom. Me too. That's what mine looks like. The rest are capped over. Am I able to harvest as usual before pulling it for winter? Okay. Are you going to be the sole person consuming that honey, or are you going to harvest it, bottle it, and sell it? That's going to make a big difference. If you're the consumer, personally, when I'm the one consuming it, I'm not going to sell it. I really don't care if it's a little bit moisture level higher than normal. I'll eat it so soon. I have had it. Last year I harvested in my flow hive, and some of that got a little vinegary before I got it all eaten. So be careful about that. But if you're selling it, I would get a refractometer and see if it, what is the honey that's in that little rainbow area down below about the queen excluder. Extract it out. I think that refractometer comes with a little eyedropper thing. So suck it out of there. I've made a video how to do this. And then put it in your refractometer, measure it. It may be fine. Measure it first. Lucas, thank you for your donation tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your sharing your knowledge and experience with us. You are unbelievable. Well, Lucas, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that kind words there. Yep. It's always good to get a bit of encouragement. Charlie, good to see you. Charlie's a big fan of the YouTube channel. I see Charlie leaving comments a lot. Thanks, Charlie, for joining us tonight. I have one hive that is busting out of the seams. Can I take at least 4 frames of out of a double deep, 8, and put some in a weak hive? I guess I'm worried about them swarming. Oh, I see. Sounds like it's a double 8-frame hive. Take out 4 frames. Charlie, yeah. I don't know what the whole configuration of all of your frames are. I don't know what the contents are. 4 sounds like a lot unless it really is busting out of the seams. But if it's an 8-frame box, 4 does sound a bit much to me. You might only take out 2, and I assume you're meaning taking out 2 frames of brood, right? But yeah, I would say maybe take out 2 frames of brood and 2 frames of resources if they can spare it. But 4 frames of brood, I would not want to lose that much brood. That's a lot of brood to lose. So it depends on what exactly you mean by that. Yep. Hey, Tim. Good to see you tonight. David, can you store your honey frames in a refrigerator after you have them in the freezer for a couple of days? Absolutely, you can. Freezing them a couple of days is going to kill any eggs, which would mean small honey beetle larvae or small honey beetle eggs. Or thank you, Brian Bennett, for your donation tonight, or your the wax moth eggs. So freezing them 2 days takes care of that. Putting them in the refrigerator is perfectly fine. A lot of people don't realize that if you put like honey in a refrigerator, I used to think that it would crystallize really fast in a refrigerator. It doesn't. It probably will after many, 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 many years, but to crystallize, you have to have that optimal temperature around 56, 59 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how you make cream honey, by rapidly crystallizing. The crystals are smaller. So it should do well to do that. Hey, Lewis, when is the best time to start reducing hive size to prepare for fall and winter? I'm in the Northwest Florida, so we don't get too cold until November, December. Reducing the hive size. Okay. I guess you want to consolidate maybe your frames and bees down to a smaller size. I think if I'm not really going to say it has to be You know, a lot of people think that beekeeping advice that's given by somebody in Illinois is only good for people in Illinois. That's not how it works. When you give beekeeping advice, when you hear it, you just have to adapt it to the timing of your season, when your season happens, right? So if fall is later, or if you're in Australia, you're getting into spring now. So you just have to adapt what I say to when it happens in your area. So same with Florida. So you're just going to have to decide how late can I get into my hives and get them all kind of settled down, and they have time to get used to their new hive before it starts getting really cold. Doesn't get really cold in Florida, but you know what I mean, cooler. Does give them enough time to get ready for your cool snap. Yep. Hey, Rich, appreciate the donation so much, Rich. Thanks for being on the live stream tonight. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate and love all you guys. You mean the world to me. Keeps me going, really does. Hey, James, how are you? Good to see you today. When do you combine your 4-frame nukes and main hives? Yeah, good question. I do have a lot of 5-frame nukes, and what I'm going to do is actually make 1, 2, 3, however many of those 5-frame nukes. You know, if I make 5 frames, are going to make 4 5-frames will make 2 deeps, right? 20 frames. Yeah. So it's going to take 4 5-frame nukes to make a hive. So what I intend to do is take 4 of them, and I'll be selling the queens out of the 4 or 3, I guess, and keep one of the queens to be the mom that will be there. So when do I start doing all that? I have to have it done by October 1st. So it's kind of like right now. It really is. Yeah, for Illinois. Well, so I need my first frost. Thank you, Sally. Sally says, thanks for all you do for us. You work hard and we appreciate you. Well, Sally, I appreciate that. Yes, a lot. Thank you. I have to do it by October 1st. That's when I get my first hard freeze, usually first week in October. So I like to have everybody in their home and their beds for winter by October 1st. So however long it takes me to do it before that happens. Yep. I need to do it now. I really need to do it now. Yeah. Consolidate. All right. We're going to have a few more questions. We're going to have a giveaway and spin the wheel. Phil, are there enough drones out to fertilize a virgin queen this late in the season? And might she be a weak queen next year? Those are all valid questions. That you're not wrong for asking that. I'm doing a test this week. I've got 7 queens from that swarm hive I opened up. I got them in the incubator. They have not emerged yet. And I'm going to take a few of those and put them in my mating nooks and just trial and error. I'm going to just see, okay, I'm going to put a virgin queen or a queen cup or whatever in my mating nook here, and they'll emerge any day now. And I'm going to see if I got drones still in my hives, but you're right. It could be weaker, could be less drones. And what will she be like next year? So I'm just going to do that experiment and find out on several of my queens. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go ahead and take this last question. Then we'll have a giveaway. Pop Josh back up. Yeah. Last year you tried a new horizontal hive. Later, you shared that it didn't perform well through the winter. Could you share more about what went wrong and if the hive design could be improved? I've already mentioned that earlier in the live stream. I'm not a good person that can overwinter a horizontal hive, because to me, I don't see how bees can leave their clustered environment as they poke their heads between the comb and they make a ball in a Langstroth hive. They can move up and down into honey, into heat above them. And a Langstroth, they have to come out of that gap and go down. Langstroth. Yeah, horizontal Langstroth. My horizontal Langstroth, they can go up. No, they can go below the frames, but they can't go through like they can a vertical hive. The Layens hive, they can't go up because it's solid. They have to go down, and they're really long. What are they, 13? No, I forget how long they are, but they're long, 13 inches wide. They must be 16 plus down, but they have to go way down to move to the honey. That's what I should have done better with it, is fed them from the top, Josh. If I could feed them from the top, I think all my hives that I feed from the top always survive. Absolutely. All right, let's do a giveaway tonight. We're going to do a giveaway for the ultimate class, my ultimate online beekeeping course. It's going to be #class. Please, if you already have this class, it's all the classes that I have online combined together. If you already have purchased that, don't try to win it. You're just going to steal somebody the opportunity to win it. But if you have not ever taken my online ultimate beekeeping class, takes you from beginners, advanced, queen rearing, how to overwinter, spring management, Mite Control. I'm probably forgetting some. I think there's 7 courses in this class, and it'd be a chance for you to win this tonight. So just put in #class, and we'll see who wins. And then we're going to do spin. Spin. Never could comb my hair in a mirror. All right, spin to win. Spin the win tonight. It can fall on these little Beak Squad stickers, and if they do, we'll have another giveaway. And then I have other items like guess an item, tools of the trade, a bee fact, a crazy story. Also, it can fall on a 30-minute Zoom meeting, a bloopers, bees in the news. You could have a one-on-one phone call with me if you need some mentoring, and a safety tip. So we have a lot of options that it could fall on, but let's go ahead and #class is what you put in the comment if you'd like to win my ultimate beekeeping course. #class. Somebody put #all caps. Don't put all caps. Do it again, but it all has to be lowercase. It needs to match what you see on the screen for you to be a candidate to win. So correct your spelling. #lowercase CLASS class. Not a $. That won't work either. Hashtag. Did I see a $? Maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Oh, yeah. Okay. So #class. Don't push it just yet, Robbie. Hang on. Still some coming in. He's getting close. He's circling. Uh-oh. Get that in there. #class. How do I do it? Where's the hashtag? I don't know. Let's see. Hashtag is above my number 3. Is that where it is on your computer? #class. Capital 3. Oh, gosh. I restore old vintage typewriters. And an old vintage typewriter doesn't have mine old ones don't have a number 1. And they don't have an exclamation mark. That's funny, isn't it? All right, Robbie, let's do it. Let's see what we got as a winner tonight of the Ultimate Beekeeping Course. Thank you guys for supporting my online beekeeping courses. If you don't win tonight, you can always purchase it. All right, Laura Carter, you are the winner tonight. Gonna write your name down. Laura, you need to email us within 24 hours. longlanehoneybees@gmail.com is where you want to write to us at. Email us and then put down your address so that we can get ours. Let us know your email address so we can send that to you. Well, congratulations. All right, let's do spin the wheel, spin to win. Let's see where it's going to fall tonight. Fun time, right? Fun. All right, where is it going to fall? Oh, another giveaway. All right, another giveaway. What we're going to do, Robbie's got to set it up, but what we're going to do is we're going to give away my online course, Getting Your Bees Through the Winter. So how about #winter? All lowercase, #winter to win our online course on how to get your bees through the winter. This class answers questions that many of you asked tonight, but it goes into more depth about, can you use heating lamps? Is it better to put them in a greenhouse? I mean, how do you prepare your bees? How do you get them through winter? And should you wrap them? Should you not wrap them? A lot of questions like that. So a lot of you are probably worried about your bees, first-time beekeepers, and you're facing winter. You'd love to get through the winter, and you're worried about it. #winter. Winter. You could be the winner of our winter of our winter class. #WINTER. Also, this is our live stream tonight. This is live. Some of you watch the replay. It's amazing how many of you watch the replay afterwards. Sometimes 8,000, 10,000, just a few days later. So thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, the giveaways are over. I see people months later trying to win on the replay. So I feel bad for you. But to win, you got to be live with us. All right. All right, Robbie, let's go ahead and see who's going to win tonight. The winter class, how to get your bees through the winter. Yep, let's roll it and see. Now, if Laura wins, I don't know if she put her name in there, but we'll have to try somebody else because she gets that in her ultimate class. Oh, Jean, you're the winner of the winter. You're the winner of the winter class, Jean. All right. There you go. Well, thank you guys. Be sure and email longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. Let Sherry know that you won, and that way she can get those classes sent to you. That's great. Oh, wow. That was the fastest few minutes together that I've ever been on a live stream together. We did a lot tonight. We talked about a lot of things. You guys are awesome. I know there are going to be a lot more questions that I probably didn't get to. I always make a video on Friday where I answer more of, probably not all of, but more of the questions that I didn't get a chance to answer tonight. So I'll do my best to get out there earlier tomorrow morning, and I sit in the green chair. If you've not watched this, you got to watch it. It's not live, but it's raw and unedited. I refuse to edit it. So you get all my misspoken words and all my goofy ideas, and I'm just off the cuff, raw, in my green chair, sitting out front there. And so that's going to be tomorrow. So I'll try to answer more questions. So don't feel bad if I didn't get to your question. There's a good chance that I'll answer it tomorrow. But please understand there's a lot of questions I think I see in the 20s that I didn't get to. So that would be a long video. I'll try to do my best to get more questions answered because, hey, that's why I'm here. I want to let you know into my heart a little more, the secret, my passion, my love. My desire is to help beekeepers keep healthier bees and make fewer mistakes. I do bees full time. I teach full time. I make my living off bees. So, I mean, it's when you watch my videos, when you buy my classes, when you buy our products, it allows me to have time to operate Bee Team 6, where I mentor people one-on-one in beekeeping. And it allows me time to answer questions, make videos for you guys. If I'm not supported financially by the beekeeping community and viewers like you guys, I'm going to have to go get a job at the local gas station. And I won't be able to make as many videos if I have to work full time. Not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad, but I do love being able to be for my bees to support my effort to help you guys in your effort in bees. And if you think about it, I help you and you help me because we work together that way. So I appreciate it. So thank you so much for your donations tonight. It means a lot to me, it means the world. But your loyalty to my channel, we just reached over 153,000 subscribers. That's amazing. I remember back when I was trying to win or earn the silver play button. Hang on, it's back here. I don't know. Have you seen this up close? You guys made this happen. Look. And I don't remember when it was. It was like last November or something. I can't remember. Boy, that's got a lot of glare. Oh, which one am I going? There you go. So when you get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, they give you this, and 100,000 subscribers. So now we're up to 153,000. So thank you. I appreciate that. It doesn't do anything except tell you that a lot of people watch your channel. You know, you don't get paid anymore. You don't get any special things from YouTube. It's just their way of saying, hey, good job. You got a lot of people that subscribe. But viewers on my channel is really better. So if you get a chance to watch my videos, and I appreciate the views. I appreciate you watching, leaving a thumbs up, subscribing, of course, but commenting and viewing my videos helps me so much. So I want to just close tonight by saying thank you guys so much for being here. We had the best of time, and you guys are the best. I love each of you. I hope you're not going through difficult times. I hope you're not going through bad news, hardships. And if you are, I want to say that you've got a friend in me. I know you can't really share. I know you can't really tell me what's going on, but if we were together, I would give you a hug and I would say, I'm sorry you're going through a tough time. For those of you that aren't and life's going good and you're pumped and excited and things are going well, good for you. remember that life is a struggle for all of us. No matter what you think other people are having as far as a good day or a bad day, life is a struggle for everyone. Some people share them, some people don't, but life is a struggle. The best thing we can do is find a way to endure the struggles, to get on top of it, and take control of our heart and our mindset, our attitude, and be able to walk through the challenges of life and have the strength to endure whatever life brings our way. And I hope that's your case tonight. May you have good health. I wish you all the best. Love you so much. Thanks for being here tonight.